Hello, my name is Allison Howmann. Thank you so much for joining me today. This is a little podcast about fashion, getting your first job in the fashion industry. I am a FIT alum, the Fashion Institute of Technology, and I'm so happy today to be talking about my career in fashion. Also, how you get your first job right out of college. I'm going to be honest. The market is crazy right now. This is some advice that is going to be extremely valuable to your career. Okay, let's be honest. Getting a job in 2024 is hard enough for anyone. People in tech are getting laid off. There's tons of layoffs going on. And you're either in college or just out of college. You want to get a job in your field and you don't want to have to work as a barista. You want to get a job in the fashion industry. I'm going to go over internships as well as interviews and some information on what type of lifestyle that you're looking for, because this is also a learning lesson that you're going to come to in a couple years, maybe even 6 months, and you're going to want to figure out where you are. First advice, internship wherever you can. Freshman year, junior year, senior year, like everything. You're going to want to have an internship. The reason being is that when you are facing companies, they're going to want to know that you can do something other than just that you went to school. You want some sort of work experience. I understand things are hard. I understand money might be tight for some of you students. I want to suggest getting an internship that you can afford to do. Some people can go to companies and afford to work for them for free or for a stipend or for school credit. Some of you designers and some of you fashion students cannot afford to do that, and you need some sort of stipend or some sort of pay per hour. But whatever it might be, whether it's paid, unpaid, for school credit, whatever. Pick an internship that best suits your lifestyle and your financial needs, because this is extremely important. People who want to hire you after you graduate school, they're going to want to know that you have experience. And I know it's one of those catch-22s. It's like, well, I did college and technically I'm not out of college. And how do I get a job? It's through the internships. It really is through the internships. I graduated with 3 internships, and that truly helped me get one of my first jobs. Next, in coordination with internships, interview everywhere you can. Make sure you have a LinkedIn page. Make sure you have a resume. Make sure you have a little portfolio if you need one. Go on interviews for internships. A lot of the interviews these days are over Zoom. So you could be in your college dorm doing these interviews, and not just to get an internship. You should be interviewing even if you already have an internship. You don't want to change your internship. You should be interviewing regardless. And a couple things is that it's going to make interviewing a lot easier when you get out of school. You're going to have practice as to doing the interviews, and these are the key relationships you're going to want to keep. I know the person interviewing you may be like, well, they're interviewing all these other people that are never going to remember me. But with my advice, they will remember you. When it comes to interviews, put your best foot forward, have some sort of portfolio, something that you're interested in. See what they're doing. For instance, so if someone came to the business in which I work in, which is a fashion consulting and development company, someone came to me and said, I made 5 social media posts inspired by your Instagram, and gave it to me, whether or not they got the internship or not. And they did that every 6 months, every year, something like that. I would remember them. Guarantee it. Giving a company something of value, small, big. There's ChatGPT these days that can help you create blogs. They can help you create articles. They can help you create social media content. Something that is going to be a little signature of yours that you're going to come back with and say, hey, I did this for you for free. I'm not asking for anything in return. When you give and you give and you give, one day you can ask for something in return and ask for something back. And that day is going to be on graduation day or a little bit before, when you're looking for jobs, when you're looking for full-time work. You're going to say, hey, do you have any jobs available where you're working at? I really love your company, or do you know of anyone? And they'll be thinking, wow, I love what this person did. She sent me 6 Instagram posts every single quarter for free. And we used some of them. They were valuable to us. Let's take her for an interview for a full-time position. You've already introduced yourself. You already know how their company works, and you're already creating something of value to them. Even if you don't want to give away something for free, check in with people. Try to give something of value. Maybe it's a recommendation to a restaurant when they need one. Engage with them on LinkedIn. Try to give them something that would help them throughout their own career too. I know as a fashion student, you're like, how could I help them? Like, I'm very new and early in my career. Like, there could be something. Maybe they need help with a fashion show, whatever. Like, be a helping hand in some shape or form. I want to talk to you about graduating school, money, and lifestyle. This is where I had my epiphany. It was probably about midway through school. I was a fashion design major. And I thought to myself, oh my gosh, having a fashion line is so expensive. I don't know who's going to pay for it because my parents are not going to bankroll me at all. So one, who's going to pay for it? And what am I going to get paid to do the work that I do? I started looking at salaries. My heart broke. I was like, this is it? This is it? This is what we're working with? No, I can't. That's when I picked up a marketing minor in the process, and I stacked on more classes to my schedule. My point being, you're 18, 19, 21, 25, maybe even 28. You need to start to think about your lifestyle and the lifestyle in which you want to live. The lifestyle that people live where they have an e-commerce brand and it's making millions a year. It's possible, but it's rare, and you have to be that rarity. And especially at the beginning of your career, unless you already have something going, unless you have some sort of social media following, unless you have some sort of money to start with, is going to be hard. And what I would recommend at the beginning of your career, if you can afford it, if you have entrepreneurial dreams, if you want to start your own line, if you want to start your own business, something like that, work in a small business, a small startup business, as small as you can get. You are going to learn everything. It's also the most unstable, and it's also probably the least paid. I will also give you some insight that the high-end designers kind of operate the same way. Not so great pay, but you learn a lot. So you need to either decide you're an entrepreneur, you will have entrepreneurial dreams, you want to start your own business, which is very hot these days, or you're okay with going more of the slow and steady route, and you're more focused on having, a stable paycheck and also having healthcare, which is very, very important and hard to get in the startup world. With the corporate world, my advice would be the bigger the company, the better and more stable it's going to be for you. I worked for a company that sold to places like Macy's, Kohl's, places like that. They made big orders. We're talking 200,000 units. However, beautiful office, tons of software and things that we could utilize, company perks, great healthcare, everything like that. Everything that you really need just to kind of live the day-to-day life. Other companies I worked for, startup or startup adjacent, everything's changing. Nothing is stable. Things change day to day. You just have to be along for the ride. And if you get highly stressed, startup world and entrepreneurial world probably is not for you. So if you get highly stressed, I would go more of the stable route, go to a big company and learn the processes and develop your career that way. If you want to start your own business one day, get paid to learn. Get paid to learn all the mistakes, and you may like it or not like it. You may love working in a startup world because you get to learn so much. That is very important to understand where you want to go in 5 years, where you want to go in 10 years. I'm also going to tell you that you had to decide what you want your lifestyle to be. If you're fine living with one roommate, 2 roommates, 3 roommates, you can kind of take a little bit more risks, right? If you want to be living alone, have a nice lifestyle, be able to go out to eat all the time, you might want something a little bit more stable. My last piece of advice, whether you're a freshman or a senior, start some sort of personal brand. It's going to benefit you in the long term. You're going to have people that like you and love what you have to say. They might be here in America, or they might be here in Europe. You never know. There's all sorts of beautiful things that you can do with a personal brand. And you have to define what that might mean to you. For me, I have a really easy time doing voice notes and voice memos and little podcasts. Video production I can also do, but it takes a lot longer. So voice notes is usually the way that I go. Or maybe some live streams because it's less editing and less work. Find some sort of way that you can get your own personality out there and provide value to other people. I'm Allison Howmann. I've worked in the fashion industry since 2015, so nearly 10 years. And if you want to learn a little bit more about me, you're welcome to follow me on LinkedIn, connect with. I will link my LinkedIn. Have a blessed day.